It was summer of 2022, and I suddenly became way more interested in this one Minecraft minigame which I hadn't touched for over 2 years by that point. If you're any familiar with Minecraft, then you most likely know the most popular server in there, called Hypixel. It is like the hub of Minecraft players. You have all the different mini games that you can play. You have TNT Run, you have Bed Wars, you have Sky Wars, and then there is their own version of Skyblock. Like the small map, like the L-shaped island with the chest where you have the bucket of lava and some ice, and then you also have that lone singular tree, and then there's that sand island over the horizon where you need to get to. Yeah, they have their own version of Skyblock, and man, it's 1,000 times bigger, 1,000 times more addictive than the regular Skyblock, and has thousands of new opportunities that the regular Skyblock cannot provide you with. The first time I touched Hypixel Skyblock was around March of 2020 when I first bought Minecraft. Until then, I was just a newbie player who didn't have the full paid version. But at that time, Hypixel Skyblock wasn't really that appealing to me. Because you see, in order to make any progress in that minigame, you need to dedicate tens, hundreds, sometimes even thousands of hours to anything before it becomes fun. Like, there are these skills, like for example you have the combat skill, the mining skill, the forging skill, which is just cutting trees, you have the farming skill, and to level up those, it takes hundreds of hours, in some cases even 1,000 hours, and that's in real time. I don't know why. I really wanted to get into Skyblock in summer of 2021 because I had nothing to do in Minecraft. Speedrunning was just not being entertaining for me anymore, and I wanted to try something new. I wanted to dedicate some time into something in this video game that would bring me delayed gratification that I was looking for, some sense of progress, some sense of I am building something that I'll be proud of in the future. And so, in that same summer, I started my new Skyblock account. And it had one goal in mind: to get as big of a skill average as possible. So of course, there were the 8 main skills. Some of them I mentioned previously, but I didn't mention the enchanting skill, the alchemy skill, the petting skill. Then there was also the dungeoneering skill, but I don't think that really added up to the average. So basically you will take 8 of those skills, and by the way, every single one of them, I think at least for one, like 7 of them, went up all the way to level 60. So when you divide those 7 skills put together at level 60, and when you take all of these 8 most impactful skills and you add up all your levels that you have in those skills respectfully, and you divide that end result by 8, you get your skill average. And so I made the account and I immediately started farming before I realized just how painful it actually was. You see, in order to become the most efficient farmer in Skyblock, to get the fastest amount of farming experience, you need to build this huge pumpkin farm on your island that takes tens of, probably even hundreds of hours to build, and then you need to spend close to 500 hours in that pumpkin farm to get to farming level 50, and then you need to do all of these other quests in order to be able to level yourself up to farming 60. Is a really painful process to get through. Yeah, sure, you had this all different equipment that you could buy that would make the process a lot easier, like better enchants, better boots, better gear, better hose that you could buy, but I was broke. like a church mouse. So I desperately needed to get some bank. And yeah, sure, I was getting some good money from my minions, but they weren't enough. And so I started doing the other best option when it came to money making, and that was mining, especially in a map called the Dwarven Mines. And it took me so many trials and tribulations, and it took me so many hours of deep work in order to be able to mine gold the most efficiently. You see, in a certain part of the map of the Dwarven Mines, in a secluded part called the Crystal Hollows, there is a place that is completely dedicated to just spawning gold blocks. Of course, before it gets found by someone and they mine all of it up, I needed to get there first. And there's like one of these places in the entire Crystal Hollows. So I needed to switch lobbies fast. And over time, this money making method started to make me like 3 million coins per hour, which was really decent for a middle game player like myself. But then I realized something. If I wanted to get 100 million coins to get this new armor that I was desiring, I would have to spend 33 hours just mining gold. And keep in mind, that doesn't even include the time that I would need to find that secluded part of the Crystal Hollows over and over and over again. Man, was that gonna be a long process, but I finally had some hope. I could finally go all out. I could finally start grinding on it. And I finally saw some goal in the distance, some kind of sign that my struggles when it came to money was finally over. Like, yeah, sure, it would still take me hundreds of hours before I would become a billionaire, but that didn't matter. I was finally on some kind of promising path. And so I thought to myself, 33 hours, that's nothing. I can just spend it down here. I could do probably like 10 hours during the weekends, that's completely fine. And so the weekend did come. And what did I do? I actually went through. I mined for the first hour, the second hour, and in the middle of the third hour, I just couldn't continue anymore. It was not because I had a bad attention span. Well, I sort of had, because I wasn't addicted to TikTok or Instagram Shorts. I was just addicted to YouTube. But even my attention span was quite decent. And I was a really disciplined hard worker, even at the age of 15, because I still did my homework from school right after I got home. So what was the issue? Like, yeah, sure, if I really tried and pushed my discipline to the fullest, I could still mine for those 10 hours. So what went wrong? What was actually stopping me from making progress? Well, I subconsciously realized that it wasn't worth it. Like, yeah, sure, I was finally getting some kind of delayed pleasure, but at what cost? It was still a video game after all, and all I was doing was just compensating for the lack of fun and gratification that I was getting from real life. And that realization kind of made me sad. All this time, I was desiring to become better at Hypixel Skyblock, whilst I didn't pull out the bullet that was shot into me, the pain of not being good enough in real life, the pain of making everyone suffer at my cost and at my expense, because I wasn't on self-improvement, because I wasn't reading books, because I wasn't desiring to actually make some money, because I wasn't desiring to attract high-quality women and to actually continue my bloodline and to make my parents proud, because I wasn't improving my mental health, and because I wasn't taking care of my physical health to what I could truly dedicate to it. Like, sure, I was still putting some kind of effort into it. I was still doing push-ups in my free time, but that wasn't enough. And so I just couldn't continue. But then, in summer of 2023, that's when everything changed for me for the better. I finally got a huge wake-up call to start grinding hard on myself and to build a better future for myself. And then I suddenly realized, bro, all of these stats in Skyblock, they are basically the exact same stats that you get by leveling up in real life. One of the skills in the skill menu in Skyblock was literally called social skill, and you could just level it up in real life. That's how ridiculous this was. And so, to make long story short, I basically realized why I truly liked Minecraft. It was the feeling of progress and adventuring, and I started to put that motivation and that feeling of desire into self-improvement, and I'm the happiest that I've ever been in my entire life. And I'm no longer a slave to Hypixel Skyblock. I'm finally free, because now I know that I'm actually working on something productive, something that actually matters in the long term. Because let's say that even if I did go all out, like no life, the fuck out of Hypixel Skyblock, and I actually did get the skill average that I was desiring, yeah, sure, it would still give me some kind of delayed gratification, but it wouldn't be on the same level as building a powerful online business that would bring my family financial, location, and time freedom. It wouldn't last. Because what am I gonna give to my children? What are they gonna value more? Either my Hypixel Skyblock account with a skill average of 55, or my real life business that I was carefully cherishing for the past 50 years or for the past 80 years of my entire life, that I was slowly refining over time to make it as suitable and easy to manage as possible, so that our empire wouldn't crack, even if inexperienced people like them took care of it. So try to find that hidden desire that is aligned to the video games that you're playing right now. My hidden desire, and it wasn't really physically obvious, but it was obvious mentally. It was basically like a symbolism. It was to literally explore and then to teach other people what I've learned. So for example, I remember I was spending so many hours on the Hypixel Skyblock Wikipedia page, just studying all the different abilities that there were, and then I was teaching it to other people from my primary school about them. And whenever I was explaining it to them, I just felt so much at peace. I just felt so motivated to teach it to them. Like I had no thoughts in my head at all. I was just going, just like I'm doing right now on my self-improvement journey. I'm finally leveling up my teaching skill, my storytelling skill, and I'm becoming better at it. And whilst I'm recording these videos, I have no thoughts in my head. I'm just talking right now, in a complete state of focus. So analyze the video game that you're no-lifing right now, and try to find this hidden symbolism, this hidden desire that you're compensating for, that can be easily replaced in real life. But then, you have to put in the work. So for example, if you play shooter games, then you might have a desire to become a lawyer, because then you can protect your team in the court case, and then you can quite literally shoot out your arguments to defend yourself. I know it is symbolic and not that obvious, but it can be that specific. So you need to just find that out on your own, what suits you the most. But other than that, you also need to take care of your relationships. Just ask yourself, are the 5 people that I spend the most time with friends with me or with the bad habit that we share? Or are we friends with some kind of good habit, something productive, something that we will be proud of 10 years down the line or decades? Is something productive in the middle of our relationship or something destructive? So think about that. If you want to join a community where we talk about our mental health, where we are becoming the best version of ourselves every single day, and if you want to be surrounded by like-minded men who share the same values as you, the same likes and dislikes, who will be in a state of healthy competition with you, who will light a fire under your ass to keep going and keep grinding, even in your worst days, but at the same time, they will take good care of you as literal blood-bonded brothers, then you can join our Discord clan in the description. I know that if you're watching videos like these and willing to take action, then I know that you have way more potential than you think you have, because you're actually willing to find people who are aligned to some kind of healthy habit, something productive that will benefit you in the physical world decades down the line. I know that you'll find your place in there, but other than that, you can like the video, you can subscribe if you like, join the email list in the description and get yourself a free ebook about mindfulness, comment on which part of the video you liked it the most, and which part of the video you will implement into your daily life. Don't forget to join the clan, you're still invited, and become a part of the family. And with that being said, thank you very much for watching this video, and remember, no one is better at being you